Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Leach, you said something on the outset about this applies, as Mr. Schofield said, only to marriage issues and to contracts for marriage and the parent-child relationship. You've limited down to marriage, and then you said something in your preamble and your discussion about that this is 99. Did you say 99%?
I pulled that number out of thin air, but most of the
Okay.
disputes we have regarding the application of foreign law happen in the family law context.
Okay.
And this bill does not apply in the business context. We have a provision in there. I'm not sure we actually need that, and so we may strike that part. I mean, it's clear that this only applies in the family code. So that's where we've seen nationwide most of the disputes arise.
Okay. And in Texas, there are, the smaller counties, rural counties will have a district court that has jurisdiction over these matters, or maybe a county court law set up to do it. In the bigger metropolitan areas, we have dedicated family courts that have jurisdiction over these, over divorces, et cetera. Are you aware of any cases where any of those above-mentioned courts in Texas have in any way attempted to apply some other religious law that does not comport with Texas federal American
so as
law?
you know, Representative Clardy, that's a great question. The appellate cases, unless there's some matter of dispute, appellate cases are hard to track sometimes. Has there ever been a situation where this has happened that I can specifically point to and tell you names and when it happened? No, I cannot. But to your point, it's not so much the family law judges in Dallas County and Harris County and Tarrant County who I'm concerned about here, who have staffs of 20 and law libraries that they can go to, and I think about that judge who's not a family law expert in a small town somewhere in Texas, who's presented with an issue like this, doesn't know family law, maybe has never done a family law case ever, and high-powered lawyers on both sides come in and try to get this judge to enforce a foreign law that may violate the rights of the parties. That's who I really think deserves guidance from this legislature, and that's who I think we ought to give the guidance to. Now, the other judges need it too. But
with all due respect, and knowing some of those poor old country judges,
I didn't say they were your judges.
You really don't have to worry about it.
No, I didn't say they were your judges.
Unfortunately, I doubt that there are any judges of general jurisdiction that have not had to go through a great deal of family law, that have a great deal of experience in this. But I keep coming back to this. We keep talking about these hypothetical situations, which kind of makes my point. We're trying to imagine all these things that might happen, that could happen, that what ifs, and then trying to craft a law to solve them.
We do a lot of that around here, though.
No, we really don't. And if we do, we need to stop doing it. If we do, we need to stop doing it. I guess, and I'll vent here for a second, but part of my frustration on this job, you and our classmates came in together, is that we spend a lot of time talking about things that don't benefit the people that we represent. We've got real issues in this state of education, of transportation, of taking care of our veterans, of dealing with human trafficking, of securing our border. We've got real issues, tasks at hand. And one day it will present, and we do come back here and we deal with issues when a court has made a mistake and come back and said, we don't, Judge, we disagree with you. You acted under your authority of law, but we're going to correct that. We're going to come in legislatively and fix that. That is our role. But I don't think it is our role to be an activist legislature where we get out ahead of an issue before there's a problem. And I will say, we're here with limited time. We don't get to meet all the time. Thank goodness. We're here 2 years, 140 days. Like I said, a lot of my folks in my district think it would be 2 days every 140 years. That's another discussion. But with the limited time we have available to us, I really think that, again, the term of art, as you know from your law school and from practicing lawyer, is it's a rightness issue. And that we, rather than having to make up a set of possible facts to then try to come up with a cure or a statute to protect it, to act. And I think what your argument is, let's act prophylactically on this. Let's get ahead so this will not occur. And I'm just afraid in this engagement of trying to come up with hypotheticals, we're coming up with facts and circumstances that aren't ever really going to fit. And the thing that we don't protect against is the one hypothetical we never thought of. So let's do this again, deliberatively, judiciously, timely, and I'm very interested in the dialogue. Nan and I have been talking about this for months and months and months, and I appreciate absolutely the sincerity and the heartfelt beliefs, and nobody wants to protect our Constitution and our way of life more than I do. That's one of the reasons I'm here. But I'm not sure this is how we do it.
If I can respond and make 2 points, I would argue all those issues that you just mentioned, border security, healthcare, public education, are all, as I agree with you, very important issues that we deal with here. But I would argue that the most important duty we have is to protect and preserve the Constitution. Agreed. And to protect the constitutional rights of Texans. And Representative Clardy, you're going to hear from family lawyers today and practitioners who disagree with you on that and think that we do need it. And I would encourage you to keep an open mind and listen to them. And you actually said it in your statement just now that someday there will be an issue that arises, and then we'll have to deal with it. You just said that.
Well, we may.
We have an opportunity now to deal with it now and prevent that problem. And that's why I filed this bill, and that's why I urge you to pass it.
And Jeff, I guess...
Let me, hold on just a second. We would appreciate not having any public display, and I'll tell you why, because we've got two sides that are very emotional about this issue, and it becomes a competition. And it's being recorded. It interferes with the recording. And the other thing is, I mean, we're here basically as fact finders today. It's not a popularity contest. We're actually interested in hearing what you people have to say. And so, if you could refrain from any kind of vocal agreement or disagreement with what's being said, it would help the record.